Everybody, this is Nash here, and Texas just fell to the University of Washington in the Alamo Bowl. So we did not remember the Alamo. This was 20-27. There were points left on the board. There were moments that we should have capitalized and we did not. And there were also positives to take away towards next season, and we'll talk about all those. But before you do, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and comment down below your thoughts on the loss to the University of Washington. They are a very good offensive football team, and the reality is at the end of the day, our line just got dominated. Both sides. Not even really both sides, because it's hard to say when you're using Keelan Robinson is not the back that you're going to be throwing up the middle. And I would argue even Jonathan Brooks is not the back that's just going to see a ton of success doing that over and over and over again. But the reality is we didn't have a lot of rushing yards. And for a team that yes, when you have Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson, they're going to make your offensive line look better. But our offensive line had some good statistics in the advanced offensive line statistics. They look good to people who grade them. And yes, that wasn't necessarily in the rushing game. And the rushing game, it got better over the course of the year. And it just didn't feel like we saw that. The defensive line, the run game, we just got dominated. Like, absolutely dominated. And another game where it feels like we're getting pressures and just no sacks. And this is something that's got to change. And if this was a preview for what we're going to see in 2023, we're about to start to regress. And you can't have that. And the pass game was there. The pass D was there. Like, we were holding a more than capable quarterback to some low numbers. I mean, Penix was 32 of 54 for 287. Quinn Ewers outthrew Penix today. He outperformed Penix statistically. Now, early on, I had a lot of gripes about Quinn Ewers. And if you were to watch the stream back, you could go and find all those gripes. I was talking about how, yes, Ewers, it was 14 for 20 at one point, and 100-something passing yards, like 120 or something like that. And my gripe was we only had 3 points on the board. The job of the quarterback is to move the ball down the field. Well, it looks like most of my gripes should have been aimed at Steve Sarkisian, because we still saw the same Quinn Ewers in the second half. But Steve Sarkisian, there's something that had to have changed, and it wasn't Quinn Ewers. And these wide receivers, I mean, goodness, you might have noticed something. I haven't even addressed it yet. It's gone. Why is it gone? Quite simply, I cannot have. I'm still a huge fan of it. I made sure the chat knew it. I'm still a huge Xavier Worthy fan. But you cannot go out there and you cannot demand NIL money. You cannot change numbers. You cannot do all this stuff and acting like, have your team saying you're the best wide receiver in the nation. Let me ask you this. Do you think Marvin Harrison Jr. is dropping those passes? No. We had 2 passes, and really it's on the same drive, so you can't say there were 14 points left on the board. But there were 7 points left on the board from Worthy at the end of the game. Like, and this is not like, no. Good passes that the wide receiver should catch every single time. That's a tie game. That's not even a tie game. We're actually at the end of the game. And, well, who knows what Washington tries to do. But we're at least trying to make a push to get the ball in the field goal range to win the game. And this was like a Freaky Friday deal. We had so many times in the season where we came out strong in the first half, and then just the second half we were nowhere to be found offensively. That's the exact opposite of what we had today. We were nowhere to be found offensively in the first half, and then we found our way in the second half, and then we really started to hammer it home in the fourth quarter. That's not something that we normally see with Texas in 2022. Is this something we're going to see in 2023? But so do the positives. I mentioned Quinn Ewers playing better. Quinn Ewers played better. My chat, right here. I try and scroll up to it real quickly. Ewers had a good game. 17 votes, 94% yes, 5% no. I mean, I think the fans agree that Quinn Ewers, for the most part, and that yes, it's just 19 votes. But still, I think from what I've seen and also group chats with other Longhorn creators, UT content creators, I mean, Ewers had a good game today. This is not on Quinn Ewers, this loss. Not at all. 320 yards. I actually think that this was, and I'm just going to double check this real quick. I think this is Quinn Ewers' highest pass output of the season. And it was. And it was actually 369 yards. His highest other game was against Oklahoma for 319 yards. And it's just to think that we actually finally saw this game from Quinn Ewers and we lost in the way that it baffles me. Hold it, and then you tell, like, if you were to tell me, hey Nash, Quinn Ewers plays great. Not great. He plays well. He does well. The Texas defense limits Penix's ability to pass the football. We won. We won, right? Jonathan Brooks has 2 touchdowns. Oh, we won. We won. I'd also be like, oh, Jonathan Brooks, he probably gets like 100 yards, all that stuff. Not giving Jonathan Brooks the ball. Like, I'm a Keelan Robinson fan. I've argued on this channel multiple times for Keelan Robinson to get touches, but Keelan Robinson is not the guy to send running down the middle of the field into defensive linemen. He's not. That's not what he does best. Getting him in space and taking advantage of his speed, that's what he does best. On the defensive side, Terrence Brooks. I mean, the Brooks brothers next year are going to be amazing. That's going to be a name combination to really watch. But Terrence Brooks really balled out. That was actually a name that I pointed out in the early in the game where I said, hey, if we lose, I want to at least see a guy like Terrence Brooks where it's like, okay, we have a young guy, this guy, we know he's coming back. He's going to be here for the foreseeable future. And who knows with the transfer portal, all that stuff. But you get what I'm saying. It's positive going into next year with a younger guy, especially a guy like Terrence Brooks. And these are the things that I at least wanted to see if we were going to walk away with, unfortunately, this 20-27 loss. I predicted 38-20. I mean, the defense held up their end of the bargain. I did not see this bad of an offensive output. I didn't, and I'm paying for it right now. I mean, I looked like an idiot sitting there saying 38-20 that we're going to beat Washington. But like Jalen Ford, he kind of seemed to be non-existent today. Like, I mean, if he was playing for higher NFL draft stock, he either just lowered his NFL draft stock or didn't just help it at all. So we will have to see what happens on that front. Jahdae Barron as well. See what happens on that front as well. These are defenders that we really want back. But it has been an amazing season. And for those of you that are still in the chat, just want to go ahead and, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. I will be going ahead and while people are asking potential questions, I will be doing every play videos this offseason. So I'm hoping that I'll have every play videos all the way through the spring, and then from the spring all the way to the season. So at least there should be, I'm thinking, with the amount of size of the roster, there should be at least probably 2 videos a week. Depending on how many and what I'm doing, there should be even more. I will be doing some baseball content, so if baseball is your thing, I will be doing that. If baseball is not your thing, I'm still going to be doing a ton of football content. I'm going to be aiming to do daily content for football, and I could not be more excited to do it. I'm trying to treat this as if there's no off season on the Nash Talks Texas channel. I really want to get to doing that. So now to some of the chat. Worthy speed and route running to catch the ball. He's a potential first rounder. He's got to get those hands around. I mean, like I remember I was going through a thread on Dynasty Football. I'm a big Dynasty fantasy football nerd. If you do that, go follow the Flock Network on Dynasty and Fantasy Football. But so I was watching a thread on some film grinder, and he was talking about Bijan Robinson and how he's so good at catching the ball because he does not let the ball travel to his chest. And that's something that you don't see with Worthy. He lets the ball get to him. He does not go and meet the ball. And he's got to develop those stronger hands, and that's the missing piece to him being a first rounder. Other than that, I completely agree. If some drops don't happen, he probably has a 400, maybe another touch. Not maybe. He has another touchdown. He has more than 400. He'd probably have 420. Over 420. Willie Nelson and Matthew McConaughey would be having a day if that happened. Appreciate you, Abel. Always being out here. Always in the comment section. Always in the chat. Always in the chats as well. Live streams. Peace, y'all. Defense improved dramatically this year. Offense was moments of finesse. With the new recruits in 2023, 2024 should be really fun to watch. I agree. This defense, the defensive recruits that we've got in 2023 coming up, we need an edge to step up. Justice Finkley, we need him to step up next year as a solid edge rusher. We need Sorrell to really take that last step to being a stud edge rusher. These are really like, and we also getting Ford and Barron back would be huge for this defense. But the defensive improvement, I will be having a video coming out on that, and there's nothing short of amazing from what we've seen from this defense, and especially in the run defense area. I know it's bad talking about that today on a day where we just had our second game second game, but this is our second rusher we've allowed to run for over 100 yards. So defense has been awesome this year. Surprised to see K-Rob was named Robbie. Same here. I mean, how many times did K-Rob touch the ball? Like, I'm a K-Rob fan. You know, like I'm a guy that I consider myself. I really like K-Rob, but 8 carries, and then 6 receptions. So he got the ball 14. He touched the ball 14 times, whereas Jonathan Brooks is 6-2, 8 times. I mean, Jonathan Brooks touched the ball more in games that we had Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson in. That's I can't wrap my mind around that. I really cannot. Are we assuming the Worthy's going to transfer on? After tonight, I have no idea. I mean, I think the late. It's for me. I thought when he changed the number that he was pretty much locked in at Texas, because if someone changes numbers and then transfers out after that, that'd be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. What was up with Xavier dropping those passes? Like I said, I think he just lets the ball come into it. He just needs to work on his hands. You just got to spend some time in front of a jugs machine. And I get that's not necessarily a jugs machine catch, but you get what I'm saying. He's got to put in the work. Deuce Robinson playing football and baseball at UT. I would be a huge fan of that. Would be a huge fan of that happening. Trust me. Big time fan of it. Like I say, if a dude can play ball, you get him on the 40. There's not a more prestigious school when it comes to football and baseball. when it comes to both of those sports combined. You will not find a better school that has a better resume than Texas. You won't. How do I get my jersey signed? Okay, so half of these are from a Pristine auction, and then the other half are from other UT memorabilia people that sell. So I didn't go and get these signed. I did. Not the Roshan Johnson one, but I have a shirt that's signed by Roshan where I was actually at an event that he did, and I had him sign it. So you can do them through that way. I like to try and support our athletes through like NIL signings and all that stuff. I mean, I had to get the Julio one. Worthy is really regressing. He's acting up. Worthy is I saw it in a chat somewhere. They said it, and it's I forget where I saw it, but I think it might even been Nino that said it. But Worthy's somebody told him that Worthy's a 3, and he's acting like a 1. Show me the lie. Show me the lie. And I'm not even mad at the Keelan running north-south. I'm mad at you. I'm mad at the idea, the thought process of saying, okay, let's take this guy who's maybe what is Keelan's weight? Like, I mean, I'm actually really intrigued about this because 185. I was going to say 190 dripping wet. You're taking a guy that's 190 dripping wet and you're going to run him into the middle of defensive linemen and linebackers. Okay, that's it. Brilliant idea there, dude. And it's not that much different with Jonathan Brooks, who's 200 pounds. But the difference is Jonathan Brooks has vision. That's the difference. Jonathan Brooks has that vision attribute that we've seen time and time again. Keelan Robinson, his elite thing is speed and getting to the edge. You're not getting to the edge running up the middle. Thoughts on... You know what? I believe you're saying Malik Murphy. Even if it's Malik Murphy, Arch, and Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers did just about as good of a job as he could have done to try and quiet some of the off-season stuff. He had a good game today. And that will be shown in an every play video. I will have an every play video of just his throws from this game coming out because I want to show and I want to highlight similar to how now this is, it's not going to be Casey Thompson level. Casey Thompson, that was touchdown, constantly. Thoughts on Sark making all the right moves off the field, it's just not quite clicking on the field. Is that on him? You know, Texas, they have a luck rating on team rankings, and Texas is one of the most unlucky teams, and that comes down to officiating, just a bunch of other things. But at the end of the day, I think we need our wide receivers to play better. I mean, I'm pretty sure Quinn Ewers. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure this is the case. I'm pretty sure he's completed 2 balls over 30 yards. Over 30-yard targets. And those are one against Alabama and then the final play for 2022. It wasn't a lot of success, and a lot of that goes to blame on the wide receivers. So I think I'm not saying to fire Brennan Marion, but Brennan Marion, your guys regressed. It's just the truth. Your guys regressed, and we got to see something better. We need to see something better. Ewers needs experience. He'll be fine down the road. I mean, this was a really good game for Quinn Ewers. This was a good game. Going out there, and he had probably statistically his best game as a Texas Longhorn. So that was a nice development to see. it just sucks that it has to come on a loss. Sucks that it comes on a loss. We did have some nice things to see. So, again, you got Quinn Ewers. Jonathan Brooks is looking good. Unfortunately, we just didn't see enough of him. You also have a guy like thoughts on Worthy. I'll give you my thoughts again on Worthy. I don't want to just re-say it because I'm gonna be making this into another video. And then Terrence Brooks as well. Positives that we saw was absolutely amazing. Those are things that you want to see going into next year. So hopefully we can add to those positives by seeing Jalen Ford come back, Jahdae Barron come back. These are the guys that we need to bring back. But again, this is the last game of the 2022 season. It's been one heck of a ride, and I can't wait to go into the offseason with y'all. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Hook!